this. And this is what he had to say. Let's listen to Dr. Ismaila Cisse.
Things like this Gambia. One is convenient. People sit in their convenient zone and look at the soft spot. Every country in the world, even America, says there's corruption. But don't want to talk about comfort zone. Corruption. Government alone, central government alone, President Barrow alone cannot fight corruption. So understanding governance. That is why you have the procurement. National audit fights corruption. Under Jame, can one dig auditing board?
Well, you said, so you are young, government, we are confident the government is ready serious to fight corruption. But with all the luminity in your biggest money, Dr. Bambadanja. The only person the government will want to prosecute them. Journalists have been done, you can expose, mom can go down, minister be demo down. The similar case, you see if it lands issue in it. But Dr. Bambadanja, judiciary, the government itself, sorry.
The justice system, not justice system, the prison system is not to punish, it's to rehabilitate. You also commit a crime there. It happens everywhere in the world. Convict like they found you guilty. Keeping in prison for the end of your life, especially if you are sick. Sickness.
Example.
But set an example. No, but set an example. But set an example.
Program. After leaving that guy, some program every time you work, even though man, for the record, man,
China is a plutocracy more than a fee. There must be any country that is a transition to democracy. They always have this problem. They are not Tunisia. Because when a law shifa neka, never want to use under dictatorship. They were all dormant, the laws and the instruments to fight corruption. So, some new government knew that people overwhelmed. We don't have more staff. Legi don't have because the technician or no more or less. So, you have to hands out of time. So, you can get them with the dictatorship. Because that have been received from Mangade Mile. So, it was super sati when the
And that was the voice of Dr. Ismaila Cisse. Dr. Ismaila Cisse responding and declaring that the government is serious about fighting corruption. Today's program is all about corruption, as I said. We will be bringing you inserts. We have a number of inserts which we'll be bringing you to contextualize this program. The main focus will be the issue of the corruption investigation, the recommendations revealed last week by the new Minister for Lands and Regional Government, Honorable Ahmad N.K. Bah. We have 3 news items which we want to bring you before we start the program. The first one is about a promise tracker which Gainako has published on the 6 weeks Kunta Kinte ferry maintenance promise. We will talk about that. We track government promises. When they say they will deliver X and Y by so and so time, we make sure that we track them. For all of those who are just tuning in and joining us on the YouTube page, we are live on Gainako online newspaper also. The second news item which we'll be talking about is Brikama's Operation Clear the Road, which has been postponed to after Tobaski, after closed door meeting between the Inspector General of Police, the leaders of the Operation Clear the Road, and the chairperson of Brikama Area Council have now postponed the operation until after Tobaski. There were clashes just the day before. And our third and final news item before we start our program will be on Parliament to hold second ordinary session starting on 24th June and ending on 24th July 2024. Yes, the State of the Nation address, where President Adama Barrow will face parliamentarians and deliver his State of the Nation, will take place very soon. Also, the FGM bill, it will be coming, which is all coming. These are all what we have in the news item, and we'll go into them proper for you now. First, we start with the Promise Tracker on station. It is online on LinkedIn and also on newspapers which we've published, featuring a Promise Tracker on the Gambia ferry service. Promise to complete maintenance of the Kunta Kinte ferry in 6 weeks, starting from April 6, 2024. our research and publication now shows that actually the Kunta Kinte ferry maintenance took 9 weeks and 2 days instead of the 6 weeks promised by the Gambia Ferry Service. Now, there have been brand new promises on the ferry issued by the minister himself that the Kanyilai ferry maintenance will take 18 weeks and 2 new solar-powered ferries will be delivered in 16 months from now. This he mentioned on the Mansakunda town hall not too long ago, some 2 weeks ago. That's the first news. We wanted to play you the insert, but unfortunately we're struggling with, what's it called, battery here. So we're trying to conserve the battery to be able to give you the most important things. The second news insert, which we have to talk to you about, is about Brikama's operation, Clear the Road, postponed to after Tobaski. This is after closed-door meetings. There were some closed-door meetings. Following clashes between Operation Clear the Road, closed-door meeting between leaders of the initiative, the Inspector General of Police, and the chairperson of Brikama Area Council has postponed the operation until after Tobaski. Clashes occurred this Monday, 10th June 2024, Clashes occurred this Monday, 10th June 2024, when Operation Clear the Road attempted to continue their initiative in Brikama, leading to the arrest of some individuals, including the councillor of Brikama Nyambai Ward, Mr. Mamadou Jaw. He was later released after his arrest. Discussions took place yesterday, Tuesday, which included Mr. Bakari Mane from Operation Clear the Road, the new Inspector General of Police, Mr. Sidi Mukhtar, and the chairperson of Brikama Area Council, Mr. Yankuba Dabo. The closed-door meeting concluded with the operation being postponed until after the Tobaski. You can listen to the exchanges between the IGP and the chairperson on their social media page. Both of them have published videos on this. You are listening to the Straight Talk Show, coming to you live today, 12th June 2024 on West Coast Radio, 95. I'm your host, Yusuf Taylor, alias Flexdown. To sponsor this program, contact 504-7877, 504-7877. You'll get direct to me, and we will discuss how we can promote your business, your brand, whatever it is that you're doing. Our third and final news, which we want to bring, is about Parliament holding its second ordinary session of the year 2024, starting on 24th June and ending on 24th July 2024. Very, very important news, because we will tell you why they are very important. The National Assembly will host its second ordinary session of the year, which will see the return of the bill to repeal the female genital mutilation or /circumcision ban. The vetting bill will also be the subject of parliamentary debate and the State of the Nation address. Now, our publication details all the important bills which will be debated by Parliament, and these include the National Assembly Salaries and Pensions Bill, the Judiciary Officers' Remuneration and Other Entitlements Bill. If some of you can remember, this bill was thrown out of Parliament. It is coming again. The Criminal Offences Bill, another very important bill. The Elections Bill is also amongst many others, which includes motions which are to be ratified by members of the 6th Legislature. Visa exemptions for diplomatic and service passport holders of countries from Indonesia and Azerbaijan. I repeat, some of the motions to be ratified include visa exemptions for diplomatic and service passport holders of countries from Indonesia and Azerbaijan. Another agreement to be ratified, which will certainly raise eyebrows, is the manpower agreement between the Gambia government and Saudi Arabia and the UAE. This is also another agreement which Parliament will debate or ratify. With regards to parliamentary oversight, that is National Assembly holding the other branches of government and even themselves accountable. With regards to that, the Minister for Finance will report to Parliament on the implementation of the budget. Yes? And he will respond to Parliament's report on the audit for the year 2019 and 2020. Those 2 years. There is an audit report which Parliament has written about a report on this audit. He will be responding. These are very important when you talk about oversight and holding the government accountable with how finances are being spent. Another very important issue which we will be covering is the petition by concerned GT board staff, which Honorable Ahmad Bah was speaking about last week. This will be subject of parliamentary scrutiny during the second ordinary session. The new Minister for Lands will also respond to Parliament's report on an oversight visit to offices under his ministry. So Honorable Ahmad Bah, he will be coming to Parliament. He will be, certainly, he will be speaking to National Assembly members. This is something which we will cover. It's about the GT board. And even Honorable Bah himself did speak about it. He spoke about the petition. And let's listen to what he has to say. Honorable Bah had some interesting statements to talk about the petition, and we will listen to what he has to say.
When I remembered Obasanjo telling me in 2000, we were in the villa having dinner. He said, Honorable Bah, when he was forming the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, he said, when you fight corruption, corruption fights you back. Graft, they fight you back. So when you are involved in that fight, you must be determined. Don't look back. Make sure you look forward. That's why when we started the fight at the Ministry of Tourism, it wasn't easy. They even have to sponsor people to write a petition to the National Assembly. Some of them calling me now, we want to come and tell you why we wrote a petition, who told us to write, but I say I'm not interested. What I do know was, I was fighting to correct a system that was not acceptable, and I know the victims would always try to fight back. This one also will be a hard one, but we are determined. We are trusted and entrusted with them.
That was the voice of Honorable Ahmad Bah. You heard him say, when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. Of course, he did say that he talked about the petition, which will be coming to Parliament very soon. And that petition is a separate matter. It's about the GT board petition, where some senior staff of GT board were raising some concerns to Parliament. And that will be dealt with separately. But you've had Honorable Ahmad Bah highlight about how he is fighting corruption. And in his view, this is what corruption is trying to fight back. And that's what he was trying to do in the Ministry of Tourism. We will be keeping a very close eye on that. This is obviously a very important issue which is going to come to Parliament shortly. He is the longest serving coalition leader under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, who has been with the government since 2017, serving as the Minister for Tourism and Culture, until he took up the role of Minister of Lands and Regional Government not too long ago, earlier in the first quarter of 2024. So he since became the minister, and when he became the Minister of Lands not too long ago, he has been very busy because of one of the things which he has done, that is Honorable Bah, is to release a investigation on Kamalo, which is what we are talking about today. We want to talk about the issue of Kamalo. It's something which we are going to certainly talk about. And this is the recommendations that Honorable Bah had to say on the issue when it comes to Kamalo. Let's listen to the recommendations on Kamalo. Kamalo, for those of you who may not know, is a small area just on the way close to Sting Corner. If you are passing Banjul and going into Banjul, it's on the way on the right. Yeah, so it's in there, somewhere there. You can go and take a look and see there's been some activity, there's been some development going on there. But those places, they've said that environmental impact assessment haven't been done, and those lands allocated, verified and approved some allocations without environmental impact assessment. Some were allocated without even the minister's approval. Let's listen to the recommendations that are coming from this, and then we'll discuss about this.
Recommendation now. We'll come to the recommendation after all this, what the committee have recommended. It says, the Ministry of Land, Regional Government, Religious Affairs should ensure that the strategic documents such as the National Land Policy is developed, implemented, and monitored. The document should clearly outline the country's agenda pertaining to land and the roles and responsibility of the authorities involved in land administration. I'll come to that on the second part of my reading. Number 2 recommendation. The ministry should endeavor to have a proper filing system in place, and efforts should be made to ensure that the missing Kamalo file is produced, where we will get more evidence of some of the wrongdoings and concerns of the investigative committee. We are looking for the file. I don't know whether it's had been. 3. The decision to make Kamalo an industrial layout should be reconsidered, as it poses serious and vast environmental challenges, as most of the investors are projected to build heavy industries on the site. 4. The above can, however, be validated through a comprehensive environment audit in accordance with Regulation 30 of the cited EAI regulation. It is advisable for the NEA to perform comprehensive general and specific environmental impact assessment and the Kamalo as crucial information for making informed decisions on a broad scale. 5. The task force recommends that the entire allocation at Kamalo extension be revoked simply because all the 28 allocation did not follow due process. In accordance, there is no development on the site. 6. There was no evidence provided to the committee that environmental impact assessment was conducted either by the ministry or the allottees before allocation was done. Therefore, the opportunities associated with such an important assessment was lost due to the ministry's failure for not complying with its relevant laws. 7. The task force recommended that those allocations without evidence of ministerial approval be revoked. The Department of Land Survey, under the leadership of the former Director of Lands, did not follow the due process by allocating without any evidence of ministerial approval in funds. 8. In the absence of a business registration certificate and receipt of payment application fee, the said allottee. Consequence, the committee recommends that their allocation should be revoked based on the following, or the foregoing. It is evident that the Department of Lands and Survey, under the leadership of former director, applicants before allocation. Number 9, the task force recommends establishing clear criteria policy for allocating multiple plots to an individual in the future. This criteria will serve as a transparent and accountable yardstick to determine qualification and enhance the allocation process to be fair and just. In the absence of a clear criteria, they should forfeit the other plots to the state. Number 10, the task force recommends establishing clear criteria policy for allocating multiple plots to individual in future. This criteria will serve as a transparent, accountable yardstick to determine qualification and enhance allocation process to be fair and just. In the absence of a clear criteria, they should forfeit the order brought to the state. Number 11, in the case of one physical planning staff, I don't want to mention his name, no ministerial approval was made. Well, in the case of one individual, approval was obtained and the task force was unable to ascertain how he received a photocopied allocation. Photocopied allocation. Like, consequently, the task force recommend that any allocation lacking ministerial approval be deemed to be invalid and revoked. Number 12, additionally, the task force further recommends initiating administrative sanctions against particular staff at the Department of Fiscal Planning who presented a photocopy of allocation letter to the applicant and devised preventive measures for similar incidents in the future. 13, the task force recommended that allocation that was a particular company to be revoked. Because this person came to surrender his property even before investigation was completed. It further recommends that the Director of Lands should be held liable for recommending the applicant by ignoring the professional advice of a senior officer and the physical planning and housing. Number 14, by submitting personal bank statement instead of a company's bank statement, raises doubts about the liquidity of the company at the time, and as such, the application did not meet the requirement to be allocated, and as a result, it should be revoked. In conclusion, number 15, the ministry hereby accept, let me just tell you, listen to me.
Countries start to do digitalization when it comes to land and allocation, so that the process will be going through the proper procedure, so that there will be no longer missing documents. This is the question that we ask in policy. This is what he is aiming for. So we see how that one will work, whether by that time we will premises. So as I said, you heard the minister. That was the voice. He was talking. He gave us but one thing for sure, we will continue to ask for the full and entire investigative report on Kamalo, and also for complete accountability to be done and to be seen to be done. No sacred cows. This is what we're saying. There shouldn't be sacred cows. The last time, this is the same similar thing when it came to the issue of fisheries. The permanent secretary was the one who was nowhere to be found. Will it be the same? Why is the minister for lands at that time being let off the hook once again? These are the questions which we have to ask. Yes. So we are streaming live on YouTube. Unfortunately, our battery is running down, so we might not be able to continue that.